Hey tech fans, I am Jay from the channel JayBratt, and I am here to talk to you today about this beautiful piece of equipment right here, the Oculus Quest. For those of you who don't know me, I have been a VR enthusiast for as long as I can remember. Even before modern VR was out when I was a kid, I was so excited for the future of this technology. I have been active in the VR community for a little over 4 years now when I got my first headset, Samsung Gear VR, and I am all about VR. I absolutely love it. So as someone who just recently got the Quest, I was super excited to check this piece of tech out. If you don't know what an Oculus Quest is, this is an all-in-one wireless VR headset. It runs off Snapdragon technology, so that's like a mobile phone processor. Everything is inside this headset. You don't need to hook it to a PC. You don't need to put a phone in it. It all runs inside itself, and it even has tracked controllers. Oculus Quest, is it good or bad? We are here to talk about the good and the bad and let you make your own decision about it. First of all, pros. Obviously a big one, total lack of wires here. Wireless, you can take it places, you can use it at your friend's house, play with it in the living room. You can decide, hey, you want to go watch Netflix with it in bed. You can take this wherever you want to go. That's amazing. Screen definition. This actually has very high definition for a VR headset, even better than Oculus's most modern wired VR headset, the Oculus Rift S. OLED screen inside of it. So that means the black levels in this are great. When you're in a dark area, it feels like true darkness. It goes completely black. You don't see the smeary gray like you tend to see with some screens. Huge. Hand tracking. Now that's a big one. It's really new. It's experimental. Oculus Quest has hand tracking. So let's say my Quest is nearby, my controller's batteries are dead. I just want to watch some media or something else. I can put this on and I can actually select screen options by just doing gestures with my hands. That's amazing. Still in early development, still not quite there, a lot of people say, but it's an added feature that it's part of it. One of the really recent features that came out is Oculus Link. Now you can get a cable from Oculus, you can get a cable from Anchor. It doesn't have to be an Oculus brand cable, and you can hook this up to a PC and run PSVR quality games through it. You get the best of both worlds. If you get the cable, you can also now play your PC games on the Quest. Do you have glasses? This headset actually includes a glasses spacer, so that if you do, you can actually fit your glasses in here while you're wearing them, hook the spacer inside, it goes behind the padding, and accommodates your glasses. And another big one, adjustable IPD. So not everyone's eyes are the same distance apart. Because of that, you can actually adjust these lenses for extra comfort and to make sure that you get exactly the right focus. This headset costs $500 if you want 128 gigs of storage. If you're willing to go down to just 64 gigs of storage, you can get one for $400. That's not cheap, but for all-in-one wireless VR, that's a pretty approachable price, because even if you were to get a PSVR, you still need a PS4. If you were to get an Oculus Rift S, you need a beefy PC to run it. To be able to get fully into VR, if you have nothing right now, no gaming consoles, no systems, $400 or $500, not a terrible price. Now, with all these great pros, there are some serious cons. It is great that this actually does include speakers inside of it, so it does have some speakers. They are not very good. It's fine if you're just demoing this for a friend. You say, hey, put it on, check it out. They can hear the experience. They can hear you talking to them. Great. You're most likely going to need headphones if you're doing any real experiences, you're having any real fun playing. Otherwise, you're just not going to get that true immersion with the speakers that are included. So sound quality, definitely a con. Comfort. Now, they designed this headband. This is basically the same as the original Oculus Rift CV1, and when you put this thing on, it carries all the weight directly on your face. Even in just a few seconds of putting on, I can feel this is bearing down on my cheeks right here, and even no matter how you adjust or how you do it differently, it's still gonna cause issues for you. So comfort is definitely a problem. There is things you can do, there's mods, but just straight out of the box, you get one of these, comfort's gonna be a problem for you. Battery life. You can plug it into the wall, but now once again, you're wired. You can put it to a power bank, same potential problem. You might be wired unless you hook the power bank directly to the headset somewhere. 2 to 3 hours is what they say you're gonna get out of this on a charge. That's not a terribly long time if you're really into the game you're playing, if you're into the VR, if you're passing around at a party. That could get in the way, definitely be a consideration in the cons. Screen door effect. So for those of you who are into VR, you probably know what I mean. If you're not, basically imagine if you go up to your computer monitor, you go up to your TV, you get really close to that screen and you can actually see each individual pixel. Well, that's what you're doing in VR. You got two lenses that are helping you see it like a distance, but you can still pick out every pixel on pretty much any VR headset we have out currently. Some are much better than others. The Quest, I would put at the not so great. It is too easy to count the pixels in there. Even though it's got that high definition screen, you can easily count individual pixels inside the headset. And it's not so noticeable if you're playing a dark game, but if you're on a bright screen or something, it can really pull you out of your immersion and remind you, hey, you're staring at two screens very close to your face. Controller quality. So these are the wireless controllers. They fit your hands nicely, but they redesigned these a bit when they moved away from the lighthouse tracking to the inside out tracking. They needed the rings to be constantly visible to the headset when you're playing, so they put these rings up above. There's many reports on Reddit, online. People have hit these on walls and broken them. It's easy to hit yourself on the headset because you got this sticking out above your hand. You got your headset sticking out. That's a problem, and these can break. There's a seam on them that tends to break when you hit things. They also just feel cheaper. They don't have the same quality this TV one. They don't have the same weight to them. It's an issue. They also require batteries. Some people think that's a positive. You can hot swap batteries when you need to. That drives me crazy. I feel like every time I get into a game, my batteries are dead. And if I was able to just leave these on a charger and have them ready to go, I wouldn't have to worry about that. So I'm putting that in the cons list. Lastly, to make this work on mobile hardware, to get the games working, they had to run this at a 72 hertz, 72 frames per second inside this headset. For some people, they're really going to notice that. It's not butter smooth. It's not like looking at a gaming monitor. It can affect the experience for you. Other people, they may not. And then there's arguments that that can also add to your risk of getting sick. Lower frame rates, more jitteriness, more potential of people getting sick. So another consideration. All things considered, the Quest is an amazing piece of tech, all-in-one wireless VR that anyone can try and play, but there's trade-offs. With every headset and everything you look at, there's good and bad. So hopefully you can see the pros and the cons, and you can decide for yourself what you like. Thank you so much for having me on. And now back over to our good friend Tech RS.
Alright guys, so I'm Charlie from Tech RS. Thanks to JayBratt for collaborating with me. And so today I'm going to be doing the pros and cons of PlayStation VR. So this is the PlayStation VR, if you did not know. Basically, it allows you to play all of the games on PlayStation that's supported by the VR headset. But basically, my story with VR is I always used to see people playing on it on YouTube, and I used to see everyone's reactions when like the Oculus, the original Rift came out. I remember seeing videos of that, and I was just like, oh wow, that looks amazing. I thought, how amazing would it be to be inside of my own game? Now that my brother got it for his birthday, the PlayStation VR, I've noticed that there's pros and there's cons. So this is the PlayStation VR, and the first pro that I'm going to say is the comfortability. So if you can see this strap here, the Halo strap, can basically extend to fit anyone's head, so it's really going to be really comfortable. And you can see there, and it also has this padding at the back, so that keeps your head nice and comfy. And then it's also got one at the front, and then it also has this rubbery material that you can see right there. So that would be the first pro of this. Basically, it gives you long hours of comfortability while playing VR compared to the Oculus Quest, which basically sometimes some people feel like it's dragging down on the face. Others, like my brother, had red marks on their face after playing with the Oculus Quest for an hour and a half, but that's never been a problem on the PlayStation VR. Got extendable, you can loosen it at the back by just pressing that button and it like extends to fit your head. You got this to tighten it, and then you can set it, and it's got padding. It's just really comfortable. On to the second pro now. It has over 200 games on the PlayStation VR compared to the 50 on the Oculus Store or the Oculus app. You're getting a lot more. You're getting 4 times the amount of games you get on the Oculus, and you're getting loads of developers developing games for the PlayStation VR because it is the most supported and the most well-known VR headset, so you won't be disappointed by the game selection. The next pro is that you get pretty much no motion sickness whatsoever. So when you're moving around with the VR headset and it's moving, basically what happens is, because it has a 90 hertz or 90 frames per second screen, and even on some games 120 hertz, so that's developer's option if they want it to go to 120 hertz, just in case it is a game that usually makes people suffer from motion sickness. That helps with the motion sickness because you can see more frames, so it's not as jumpy. It can make people feel very hallucinated when they're wearing this headset or other headsets because this has the 90 hertz. So basically it just bumps up the refresh rate if you need the higher refresh rate. So this is a really good pro of this. The Oculus Quest only has a 72 hertz display. It's not bad, but this is better for moving around, and it doesn't look as jittery and jumpy. If someone who suffers from motion sickness, I'd definitely go with the PSVR over the Oculus Quest. Now we have to finally talk about one of the last pros of the PlayStation VR, and that would be the OLED display. What it does is, instead of having greys, which you can see on TVs, on mobile phones, this is pure black. Games like Firewall Zero Hour, where the actual game needs to be dark because that's the setting that it's been put in, it will look dark. Not going to worry about the experience being tampered with because of the greys and blues and stuff. Gonna get those nice rich blacks and inky blacks, so it makes for a better colour experience. Also, it does have a built-in microphone, so when you do social experiences like VR chat, you can speak to your friends with the built-in microphone. Now on to the cons. The first one is, compared to the Oculus, it's not wireless. It's more immersive to have something that isn't strapped to a computer, but the cord's really long, so you can move around a lot. It's not bad to not be wireless, but you know, it's a perk to be wireless, just like the Oculus Quest. Also, it hasn't got built-in audio, and I know that might not be a problem for most people because they've probably got headsets, but if you're like me and don't have a spare headset they can use, it might be a struggle. I know the built-in audio isn't good on the Oculus Quest, but I'd still prefer to have it than not have it. Also, it does have a low-resolution screen for a VR headset. This is one of the lowest that you can possibly buy right now. It's not bad, but you will certainly notice it when you compare it to the Oculus Quest. It's a lot more sharp than the PlayStation VR because this is a 1920 by 1080p display, so there's not many pixels as the something by 1660p display, which is really sharp on the Oculus Quest. That's a good perk. Also, I have got to mention for another con, the tracking of the controllers isn't very good. So you have a single one camera, so it's got two lenses, but it's just not very helpful. The Oculus Quest has built-in cameras because it has inside-out tracking, makes for a better experience. But on the PSVR, you have to stay inside of the area that the camera can see because you don't want to have to be moving out and then you're about to touch an object or something in VR. And then the tracking stops working, so it's going to stop and you're going to have to, it says you're going out in the area and you need to come back in. And sometimes that can make you, in a competitive game, you might get shot or you might miss a ball, like in Danger Ball on PlayStation VR Worlds. Also, the controllers is a bit of a mess on the PlayStation VR, I do have to say. You have PlayStation Move controllers, PlayStation Aim controllers, and the regular DualShock. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Some games you have to play with the PlayStation motion controllers, like Beat Saber and Super Hot off the top of my head. They're some of the biggest games and you have to buy £70 or $85 worth of controllers. And then if you want to get the best experience out of games like Firewall Zero Hour and other shooters like that, you should probably buy the aim controller. That costs an extra £40, which is an extra $55. If you really don't want to buy extra controllers, the Oculus might be the better pick for you. Plus then it's got to have different shipping times, but it's a bit annoying, the controller situation. Finally, a pro and con is the price. This might sound a bit weird. The pro is that if you have a PlayStation 4, then you might as well get this. You can probably get it second hand for around £110, which is really great price for a VR headset. But if you want to get brand new, it comes in the starter pack usually. For the starter pack, it's probably around $260 for the mega pack, where you get 5 games and all that. If you really don't want to have to cash up, and then especially if you do have to buy the PlayStation as well, that could be a problem. But if you want to get the best experience, you've got to pay $300 for it brand new, then $85 for the Move controllers, and then if you want the aim controller, that's another $55. So the price is a pro and a con. If you've got a PlayStation, you might want to consider this over like HTC Vive or something, but the Oculus Quest is pretty affordable because if you're going to buy everything that you need for it and you don't have a PlayStation, then this is going to cost a lot more than the Oculus Quest, around £200 more than the Oculus Quest to get everything brand new. But if you order an Oculus Quest, it's $399 for the 64GB and then $499 for the 128GB, which is also a pro and con on the Quest. With this you get the storage of the PlayStation, and so you can have a terabyte of storage on this if you really wanted, which is a pro for this. Well, if you're not looking to buy the controllers with it, then the PSVR could be the better deal. But if you're looking to buy the controllers and maximise your experience, then I would say the Oculus Quest, because you're not going to go around buying different controllers and stuff like that. And it's just really easy to set up and use compared to the PlayStation where you've got to plug wires in and things like that. Overall, I would say the Oculus Quest is a better deal than the PlayStation VR. But if you're not looking to buy the controllers, then the PlayStation VR is probably the better deal. And that's around £110 off or $135 off the price of the headset, and I don't think it's worth an extra $135 to go with the Oculus Quest over the PlayStation VR. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash that like button. Go subscribe to JayBratt because he's been helping me so much with this, and I really appreciate him. He's been giving me so much advice and things like that, and I would really appreciate if you could go down to the description and subscribe to his channel. If this is on his channel as well, probably be in his description instead. But yeah, if you're watching this on my channel, make sure to go into the description and subscribe to JayBratt. Also, I've got to give a shout out to my graphic designer. He's called at Roman Chobasu on Instagram. He's a really good graphic designer. He built the thumbnail, the intro, and also the logo for this, for Tech Auras. So if you'd like to go check him out, I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, make sure you go to check out JayBratt's channel. He's an awesome YouTuber. He does VR content all the time, and he should be doing more stuff. He uploads daily as well, which is amazing. And anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!